We are live from the TulipDAO for our 24th Investors AMA with Vamp Finance. I am trading Tulip here with the team from Fantom Finance. They were a synthetics, an algo stable token or a protocol that adapted and is now incorporating a Tomb fork into the model, and we're hoping to see some cool synergies between protocols and see how it rolls out. Welcome, guys. We got a big team. We got a big crew up here. I'm excited to talk to everybody. You guys are big brains. I loved talking to you guys during the KYC interview. I told the DAO after I talked to you guys that I was bullish as fuck on this team and whatever you guys continue to do in the future, and I'm still am. So I'm excited to chat and excited to see what you guys have planned coming down the line. And excited to share it too. So if you could just introduce you guys yourselves publicly here for everybody, just your roles and maybe your experience. And I'd like you guys to share the story of how you all met and how long you've known each other, if you could, please.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm SK. You can call me SK or Steves. And I gotta apologize in advance first. I sound a little bit more nasally than usual. I'm on a bit of a road to recovery from getting hit by COVID late last week. So apologies for those who are sort of listening in to my voice.
Glad to have you healthy.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, yes, so incredibly excited to be here, guys. We've been working with TulipDAO for quite some time. I got actively involved with crypto sometime in late 2020. It hasn't been that long. And I was introduced to the world of centralized exchanges for trading first, but it never really was my thing. And then, I got into the world of DeFi, and yeah, that has been my interest since, moving on from centralized exchanges. And what I do for the team is I work on projects, partners, and stakeholders coordination. I handle communications and I work on the docs for the team as well, sort of give them the space to just do what they do best, just building out really good shit, dApps and protocols in our space. And last but not least, I work on the creative side of things as well. I work together a lot with Teddy to try and build and, establish our brand and identity pillars. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do so far.
Sweet. Who's next?
Hey, me. So, hey, I'm Cody, and I started in crypto in December 2020. Was mostly trading Bitcoin and Ethereum on centralized exchange. And I learned about Fantom in January 2021 on a centralized exchange that sells Fantom. Then from there, learned how to bridge and go into the degen world. Then started about learning more on Web3 development and smart contracts because I'm a full stack dev in real life. And I'm actually workmates with Skives and Aura. So I know Aura since childhood mates, so we know each other since kindergarten, right? Got a photo together and all. And Skills is more like we are workmates for more than 10 years, and also Aura as well. We are still in the same company together. So this is like our side gig together, and thought like start this up from somewhere. And baptism is our first thing, and now we are like on the third dApp after the auto compounder. So happy to be here, and now the fourth one is launching is Vamp Finance. So happy to bring in more utility for baptism.
Excellent, man. Happy to have you here.
Yep. Hi, I'm Aura. Basically, I'm a developer in real life as well, full stack. And as Cody mentioned, we are childhood mates, and also Ski's met him in our workplace, which is the current ones as well. So still pretty new in Web3 space. So would like to actually explore more stuff that we can do in Web3. So just trying to bring our Web2 experience to Web3 as well. See what we can build, any cool dApps, in the future. So yeah, pretty much Cody and Steve's actually covered all the stuff that I wanted to say. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, and one more thing. So I got involved in crypto by Cody. So I joined like November 2021 when the market was like going down. So yeah, but it's pretty like having a mindset of building. This is what my experience is. So having the mindset of building, it's much fun than trying to trade it. Actually,
Right. Building through allows you something to, put your mind on and your passion into. Doesn't matter what the price is at the time, right? As long as you can sustain and live and be comfortable.
yes, correct. Yep, exactly.
Love it. So who is this shitcoin surveyor guy? And who is this Teddy guy? Teddy's been awfully silent over here. Let's get the last team introduction.
I'm Teddy. I'm a pretty quiet, stand in the corner and observe kind of person. Hey folks. I don't know the team from childhood. I haven't known them that long. I kind of just snuck into the space after it became apparent that I wasn't good at crypto. And in order to survive, I needed to start working if I wanted to stick around. I mean, I showed up in January. I'm new to the scene. I come from, last 10, 15 years in the digital marketing space as a designer, developer, I'm a digital strategist in Web2, small to medium-sized business, 150 clients, started, businesses from the ground up with them. So marketing and strategy and design all comes hand in hand to me, but then you show up in this space here and it was all foreign and new. So I immediately slipped into the design world, seeing as that was the biggest void to fill commonly throughout protocols and projects. And I've been following the shitcoin surveyor on the tweet sauce for a while, and that's how I ended up on Phantasm and did a infographic for the Phantasm fork, and it's kind of spiraled out of control from there. And now me and Steve's are designing up a storm. We've got 3 Pepe brands under the belt, and more coming. So it's been fun. They're great folks to work with. As I said, me and Steve's are doing all kinds of fun work at all times of the day and night, and just bouncing ideas around, and everything's just moving great with this team. I'm stoked to be a part of it.
Right. Yeah, it's a much needed skill set, and it's cool to see that they have somebody filling that role. I was gonna say I have a bit of a similar experience in Web2 business and digital strategizing, approaches to marketing and stuff like that, and it's really fun when you get into this space, isn't it?
It really is. Like, I've just the last few weeks just dipped into NFTs recently on Fantom, and like you go in with $20 and have some fun and doing some artwork with some projects, and like it's kind of wild what the opportunities are here if you have any kind of skills. And that's what I'm telling anybody and everybody who will listen offline. If you're a junior designer, developer, or anything, just get into Web3 without any money and just go help and do some work and learn about the crypto along the way, and you're going to set yourself up for the next decade pretty well.
Fully agree. I fully agree. That's awesome. Good stuff. Very cool to see that they have somebody focusing on the brand. It's huge.
Yeah, brand and user experience with the interfaces. That's where my focus is going to be.
Right. Yep. I understand. Yeah, and I understand the value of it too. Trust me. Yeah. Cool. And like I was saying, I don't know who this shitcoin surveyor guy is, but can we get an introduction from this
Sure.
guy?
Yeah, most of you guys know me. I'm the shitcoin surveyor. I met these guys. Obviously, I played their original Phantasm and then played pretty much every fork for a while until this one. And then I was getting pretty irritated by the original Phantasm guys, stable farming and dumping the shit out of the native token. So I ended up, basically telling them to knock it off and keep buying the shit out of this. So I ended up with a huge amount of Phantasm. So I figured I should probably get to know the team. And I was pleasantly surprised that they're top notch. So, I've worked and talked to a lot of devs in this space, and these guys surprise me every day. They're going to do very well in DeFi. And when they ask me to be on the team, help outreach, try to make some connections on Fantom, and attempt to, I've been playing a lot at Tomb Forks in the last 6 months, so really tried to help them game out, what will cause what, given the market conditions, which I think not enough Tomb Forks do, and that's why most of them fail. Whatever the market conditions are during your launch, you need to consider that, and the tokenomics should fit that, not everybody pretend like we're still in a bullish market. You gotta adjust. You gotta balance things for what's there, not what you wish would be there. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I fully agree. We, sometimes development power, well, I'm not going to say sometimes, development power is not the only piece of the puzzle, right? I think the BSM team has seen the value that you can extract by talking to people and communicating and bouncing ideas. They were very open to taking advice in the early stages of BSM, and now you guys have people copying your model, right? You change things, and now people are copying the BSM model by tweaking the emissions and how they're distributed across the pools, etc. So that's cool to see. We were. I remember us discussing the the launch and stuff, and it's been a cool journey to see. You guys are an example for a lot of people who want to make Phantasm forks. They think that that's going to be enough solution, but the truth is it's not. You guys saw firsthand that you need more than just a better, system. Marketing is huge. Getting a steady stream of liquidity coming in, our new money coming enough to outpace the dumping, right? It's tough. It's not an easy thing, especially with the markets the way that they've been. Are you worried about that at all with Vamp?
Hey, no, I don't think so in that sense. Now, I mean, first of all, we really appreciate all the support and trust, that you guys in the community have put up for the team. It's been such a great journey, and I think Survey will probably say the same thing as well. We never envisioned, being here today, sitting up on this stage. So it's really a humbling experience to, just be able to, hear all this, feedback and support, and hoping that we as a team has, have really done hopefully the right things along the way. Really about listening to the folks, getting advice early on, as you say, Tulip, which has sort of helped with keeping things sustainable, and then help giving us the time and sort of um, ways to sort of approach things, and be a little bit more creative and innovative about things. And as we said earlier as well, spending so much time on trying to establish a brand and identity. We're not just trying to just be a fork factory and just kind of keep stamping out random forks. That's not quite what we want at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying to tell people there's going to be a pot of gold at the end of this, wherever you guys end up landing with all of this new experience and whatever the new, the final path may take you. It may incorporate all of these tokens, right? Maybe it's a DEX, maybe it's an AMM, maybe it's whatever. Maybe these tokens are utility tokens for the future ecosystem. So you guys have the ability to brainstorm some cool shit, and I'm excited to see what you come up with on that front. But enough with the speculation and all this stuff. Let's do an overview of Vamp Finance and what makes it different than the average tomb fork, and how can users transition their value from Batasm to Vamp without hurting the ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So, for those who might be listening for the first time, we're the team that brought Batasm Finance, and that was our first project, which was a Phantasm fork. And because it was kind of like a little experiment for us at the same time, and we're trying to learn as much as we can. Aura sort of alluded to earlier that we don't really know much about Web3, kind of just trying to pick things up along the way. So we thought that okay, let's quickly put something out there and try to learn as much as we can. So we introduced the world to Batasm and its two native tokens, BSM and BFTM, and Vamp Finance is basically our bird project actually right now, which introduces a cross protocol approach, as we like to call it. And we feel that it's something that's not been done before, especially with the way you can kind of build an ecosystem of interconnected dApps together. And what we want to do is basically try and introduce and bring utility from all these various dApps and protocols and sort of bring them up together in this one beautiful piece of a product, as you might call it. And Vamp is our tomb fork, and it's basically it's a little different from your typical tomb fork. It's got some new mechanics in there, which we got some inspiration from, just seeing what modern tomb forks do these days. And what we've introduced, more importantly, is that the peg token is BFTM, which is the synth asset that was introduced from Batasm. And the way it works is, it's very typical. You've got your above peg and under peg mechanics of typical tomb forks. What we did introduce as well is that we allowed for people who, would still be holding onto their, bags of BSM and BFTM to sort of bring that over into this Vamp, because we have gen pools, we have farming pools all opening up soon. So you guys can, sort of use that. And it sort of gives investors, users, the option to sort of pick which play they want, because we kind of see both protocols sort of working side by side together. And you choose to remain on Batasm if you want. If tomb fork's not really your thing, but if you're really bullish on tomb forks, you can kind of bring that over and just start farming and just playing around with Vamp in this case. Yeah.
And one of the really big differences from anything that I've seen on Fantom is the lock mechanism for the boardroom, which is we're calling it the crypt. So it's a 36 hours. You can claim every 36 hours to claim the peg token rewards, and then every time you claim, that puts your share token back on 72. So it resets the clock on the 36 and the 72 to be able to withdraw from the crypt. If you do want to withdraw the share token from the crypt, you will burn all of the peg token that you have in those rewards. So you can't claim and withdraw from the boardroom or the crypt.
Got it. So when you withdraw, it sacrifices your rewards?
That's correct. Yeah.
Oof.
Which will be, because it's 72 hours, will be three 3 days worth of those tomb forks. So it
What
applies.
happened? Sorry, real quick. What happens to the pending rewards in that scenario?
Burnt.
Burnt. No fucking way.
Correct.
Did you hear that, boys and boyettes? All right. You can claim, but it extends your withdrawal timer by 72 hours. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. So you can claim every 36. Yep.
But if you withdraw, you don't get your rewards. So it's going to burn the rewards. You have to wait 72 hours to withdraw, and then it burns those rewards that accumulate, get out of the boardroom.
Yes.
So that is going to, wow. That's some crazy game theory. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, if you notice on the button there, it's called burn and withdraw. So just take note of that.
I didn't
in case
see
you
that.
have any rewards. Yeah.
Chat.
We just want that to be, everybody, especially to know that we don't like people getting in, assuming one thing.
Yeah.
Of course, read the docs, but I mean, that's a pretty substantial difference to the boardroom that I think is hugely bullish for the project and will help it be more stable, the share token to do better, and also, keep the peg token above peg for substantial amount of time, if not,
Guys,
well, obviously we want to keep above peg forever, but we'll do everything we can.
That is huge.
Yep.
That is seriously huge. Like, I don't think people understand that could be a serious game changer for share token stability. Or for peg stability, I mean.
Yeah, and I mean,
Moly.
all these recent tomb forks that I've seen, they lose peg eventually, but really the first sign of weakness is the share token just nuking. And that's usually driven by very limited amounts of LP in the share token LP. And so they just sell through it like paper. That causes the peg token LP APR to go down way too much, and then you lose peg. So it's like in the bull market, we didn't really have that, but in this type of market, that share token, keeping a healthy price and healthy LP under it, I think is actually much more important, especially at the beginning, for the health of the protocol. So, I mean, me personally, I will be, building LP with the share token as much as I can, even if it's, I just think it's better long term for the protocol. But there's a good balance that we'll put out later. Yeah,
I agree. I'm interested to see how that game theory plays out.
Me too.
I'm expecting to see a lot less people locked until they're convinced of some sort of stability, and then like it takes the conviction play, right? Because it's like you're banking that it's gonna be printing over time for you, and that if you treat it that way and everybody were to play that, it would it's gonna work nicely.
Yeah, and it also incentivizes the share token LP more. So people that don't want to lock for 72 hours, but they still want to hold, not just hold, but have some APR while holding the share token. That's going to help push more LP to the share token as well. So instead of everybody just piling into the boardroom, oh my God, we're done. Now we're dumping. Everybody sell your share token, and then it loses peg. That's how all of these tomb forks in the last 2 months I've seen have went. Exactly like that.
It's been awful. Good. Okay. I like that. I had one question or one suggestion there. What you guys ever think of like an auto compound on the claim button from the boardroom? Just automatically compound it to the LP with a zap. Might do.
For the zap functionality,
I guess it's not necessarily made auto compound.
Yep. So we are working on that. Basically, we have that prepared. Just trying to wait for the liquidity coming in, then we will enable it.
Excellent. Is there anything, any main differences you want to share? I noticed the APRs are not as gen as most people would be expecting it on these LP pairs. Do you want to explain your guys' strategy with the tokenomics or the?
Yeah, I mean,
Unless that's a daily APR that's showing. Is that daily or
no,
is that?
no,
All right.
no. So we did decide to, bring on some people for the pre-sale to do a private pre-sale. Stakeholders that we think are healthy for the protocol long term. We did that to establish immediate LP for the pig token. So like most, usually Tomb Forks are launching with like nothing to a few $1,000s worth of LP. And the threat of before gen pools going below peg is real. And that's not really a very healthy way, again, in this kind of environment to launch something. So the APRs are for the gen pool will be lower than most Tomb Forks, but I think that the trade-off is that means that we'll easily be substantially above peg coming out of gen pools, and then we'll rotate to the regular system with the boardwalk and everything going that will have similar high APRs at the beginning of any Tomb Fork. So we're really more caring about healthy launch, healthy maintaining of the peg, and not trying to really, attracting people that chase 50,000% APR all the time is not really a healthy strategy. While I'm a degen myself, I do that stuff all the time. It's still, we wanted it to be more long term. We wanted this to be a protocol that wasn't a 1 week thing. And especially the devs have put in so much work on this that that's important to us instead of trying to attract as much TVL first day. That's not our priority.
Right, and I think it's always something that you can change, right? So, if community really wants to implement some changes. By the way, does BSM have governance over Vamp decisions?
I would say no at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Just to add on shitcoin surveys, one of the things that we did was to reward the Baptism guys that have locked BSM, to airdrop them a V-share token proportionately. Yeah. So if you look at the creep now, it has like 50 V-share in there, which is already which is airdropped to all of them.
Got it. Very cool.
Yeah. It was really important to all of us that the Batasm people, early supporters, didn't feel like we just rotated, because we're really just trying to integrate these two projects and kind of pivot and add some additional stuff. So I think we balanced, rewarding those early BSM supporters as best we could.
Yeah, we talked a lot about, just making sure that we don't leave our folks behind as well. That's why we, always think about ideas of how we can, bring our early on supporters onto, the new dApps as well. So that's kind of something that we've, always had in mind. And I believe that that's something we will keep in our minds as well as we, start introducing, or evolve the ecosystem, in the coming months or so.
Good stuff. Yeah. One thing I do want to ask before we get into community questions real quick. I wanted to know where you see or what you see being the next development or implementation for Vamp. We've seen historically that with Tomb Forks, much more than just bonding and some slight tokenomic shifts are necessary to achieve sustainability. So I'm just curious, what types of things have you guys been brainstorming about, discussing, Any creative, innovative solutions that you have been thinking to help mitigate sell pressure or to increase buy pressure? Please share, if so.
Yeah. So I've been keep trying to talk to the guys and the devs about future plans, and they're just like, no, I want to focus on healthy launch, get this, and then we'll talk about that, which makes sense. But just to put a little bit out there, we're looking to build, other peg tokens on top of this that will add to the print of the crypt. So we're planning on trying to partner and reaching out to some very popular and Fantom supported projects and communities to try to bring them on board to launch something similar with their native token, and then have that be integrated into the overall Vamp system and add to the crypt print, and hopefully deepen the liquidity as we do that. And they would probably run gen pools themselves that you would be able to then use the LP from this project, so that the Vamp BFTM
Right.
there.
So hopefully transitioning value that way, and hopefully making it more sustainable by spreading liquidity and yield.
Yep.
I understand. My one concern would be over, I guess, dilution of the liquidity spread across so many pools. Maybe you lose a lot of liquidity on the Vamp pair with Fantom. Things like that. I just hope you guys are dynamic in your decision making, so you can shift if needed.
Absolutely.
One thing is, are you planning to utilize Vamp as the peg token for these new forks?
No, I mean, in my mind, and we, like I said, we haven't worked all this out, hashed out. It's not down on paper yet. It would
Okay.
be other really popular Fantom tokens, their own peg
Right.
token, and small, basically built-in Tomb Fork on top of this that would plug into our liquidity, but also, try to bring more liquidity and buy pressure to their projects as well. Obviously, it would be mutually beneficial with them.
Just don't peg it to Tomb, please.
I ain't pagan. No, thanks. Fuck no, bro. I got, I made a lot of money on Tomb, but I'm over Tomb.
Yeah,
personally.
hey, if you guys could land a partnership and do a
Yeah.
pool on Tomb Swap, I would be all for it. Okay?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but
that
yeah,
whatever.
we're not gonna fanboy over Tomb, if that's I promise.
No. I was just thinking it is kind of an easy way to try to target their community and onboard some of that liquidity. But I feel like it does more harm than good, because there's more bad actors over there that want to see Tomb Forks fail than there are good just DeFi users. So yeah, let's just keep calm.
Tomb was not on my list. Tomb was definitely not on my list for that.
I didn't assume, so it was more of a meme. But
I know.
One thing is do you have any ideas of those tokens, what they might be? What comes to mind, like Boo?
Yeah, I mean, so down the road, I think we want to make some solid partnerships too. But I think, yeah, you do blue chip stuff. So Boo, Spirit, Beats, stuff like that. Those are all on the table, and I think they would be smart, healthy moves. They have smart, pretty healthy ecosystems when it comes to liquidity. I mean, in relative to Fantom's liquidity.
If I think if that strategy is going to work, it's going to have to be blue chips on Fantom, and
I agree.
It could work for sure. I'm interested to see how that plan develops. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're taking it. Our main focus, and the devs 100% focus right now. I'm the only one talking about it.
Go ahead.
It is Vamp healthy, running, successful, and then we're gonna broach into that, and we'll keep the community appraised as we develop.
For sure. I mean, you have to keep growing Vamp healthily, but part of that is making sure you have the next step ready.
Always.
So don't
Always.
forget that part, team. That's all.
Yes.
One thing I want to say is I have a really strong idea for a strategy for you guys for working with Beethoven once you guys get incorporated with them. We should discuss that privately though. Once you guys start getting multiple peg tokens.
Yeah, definitely. We learn from the space and we keep growing from there. It's really good so far. And yeah, just want to call out the Baptism group and all. We're not abandoning anyone there. That's all along. Like the mint feature, redeem feature is gonna get like the Fantom fees, and it will get into the Baptism lockers as well. Yeah, we are just keeping every steps hand in hand, and then exploring the features more with like surveyors looking for, and also what we can do with other dApps that come on in the future as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds great, man. I'm gonna start doing some community questions. I may have to leave just slightly early and have Voids finish up the questions. Do I have anybody on the panel who wants to ask a question before community questions? Snoop, Voids.
Nope.
Snoop,
Gone pretty
always got a
detailed.
question. Yeah, we did answer quite a bit just now. Okay. All right. All right. Community questions it is. How did they end up choosing TulipDAO for the KYC and pre-sale? You guys mind sharing?
I mean, everybody here knows that I'm in TulipDAO all the time. Everything that they've been working on, and I've invested my own money in. So over the last 8 months, I've developed substantial trust in them. I mean, I'm in their voice chat almost every day, discuss bad actors in the space, all kinds of stuff. So for me personally, it was just months and months of spending time with all the people that are on the stage right now. And then, I obviously recommended to the rest of the team that they go that direction.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working with Surveyor since I think almost day one. Actually, we've been talking with him,
It was like
day to
500
day.
TVL when I bought.
Yeah,
$500.
it's been crazy. But yeah, obviously, Surveyor introduced us to TulipDAO, and we figured early on that the KYC was probably a good step in sort of establishing that trust, and just sort of getting our names out there, and that's what we went with. Yeah.
And at the time, I want to add, we were doing aggressive outreach for new projects on Fantom, and we were specifically targeting protocols that may not have had an extremely large treasury or startup funds. And we're offering discounted rates because we're trying to build our credibility as providers of these services in the space. So it was a win-win, and it's really a no-brainer for no projects for what they're receiving, and as far as trust and credibility. We try to make integrity a very prominent thing in what we do here at the TulipDAO, and I think everybody who is involved on any level really understands that. So once the conversation started, it was a wrap. Let's see. Community question. There's more than I thought. What's the best strategy to use funds to support the protocol? How should we be using rewards to keep the sales system healthy? You guys mind if I take that one?
Sure.
I would say, in my opinion, best strategy to support the protocol is to LP in with about half of your funds and then leave some money on the side to be able to buy dips and add fresh Fantom when you're able to, if you don't want to sell at support to compound, then it's healthier for the protocol to add some of that fresh Fantom after. So instead of going in with the full 100% bag at once, going to 50%, scale in through a combination of adding fresh Fantom and then buying dips, and do that over time to build your position up. And then when you see the share token start to normalize in price and come down, from the sky where it's at right now, then you can really start considering getting into that LP as well as the boardroom once it's ready. But that strategy changes very quickly, so I don't want to say too much about what to do right now.
Yeah.
But that's
It
the
all depends
healthiest
on-
way to support without dumping price.
Yes. And it honestly, I've played 20, 25 Tomb Forks, and there's no like set strategy. It depends on how everybody acts. So you have to like keep
Yes.
your, capital as fluid as you can to move it depending on where everybody else is moving. We will obviously do our best to communicate, what's healthiest for the protocol through the Discord as we go along. And I honestly, with the tokenomics, the lock system and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be quite the war zone that everybody's expecting because it's a Tomb Fork. Every recent Tomb Fork I've been in has been just a war zone in the Discord. It's like, calm down, man. Just, do it through a stock and build LP. Don't overinvest and don't go all in on the share token when it's at $6,000, please. That's not the move, man.
Yeah. I would, just to be clear, I wasn't saying the strategy to profit. Well, you can definitely profit doing that strategy. That was the strategy to help the protocol the best, in my opinion.
Yeah. In long term, for any Tomb Fork, this is always true. What's best for the protocol is what's best for all the players. It's always true.
Yeah.
And if you can keep the community together, it'll print for a very long time, and we'll all make money.
Yep.
Someone will lose money at the end, but
it happens.
Everybody in this room and in on the gen pools will make very good money, and a lot of people after that, if we all just keep it healthy. So.
Right. I think the number one thing that people need to learn when it comes to Tomb Forks collectively is to sell on green candles and to compound and to buy on dumps. And if you can consistently do that, take profit gently, sell rewards at the tippy top or when you see a big buy, and then you just chill, wait for some compounding sells, or wait for it to sell down, and then you buy it back, and then you LP, and you compound that way, and you maximize your profits over time, instead of killing the fucking chart, unLPing and dumping at support levels. Like, swear to God, I will come for you.
Another good rule of thumb is just like the 10% profit rule, if you guys are familiar with that, which is basically try and draw out 10%, even if the chart isn't the best. Maybe don't sell on a huge red candle, but like you can consistently take out 10%, LP the rest. That's going to be a way to like softly take profit while keeping this alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, either something like that, or I recommend keeping some of your tokens on the side to sell when there are those big pumps, and then you're able to exit on a healthy green candle without hurting the chart, and that's how you maximize longevity. If everybody does it, we all fucking win. I promise you. It's that simple, I'm going to get into a question here real quick. RugDoc has Vamp listed as high risk. What can you provide to assure investors of safety during Genesis and beyond?
So there's two Vamp finances that I'm looking at on RugDoc. The one that's the worst has some crazy shit in there is not ours.
Did you guys get it, RugDoc?
What's that?
Yeah, we did. Yes.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys. Okay. You guys want to talk about? Did you read what they responded on this?
Yeah, the first one, the first entry, as I kind of pointed out to some of the guys in the team as well, it's it was a coincidence that there was another Vamp Finance as well that was that apparently rugged. And that was just actually back in, I believe it was in April or March.
I think I remember it, yeah.
So it's it's obviously good to point out and call out that we're obviously not associated to that particular one. The other one that we just submitted and sort of got a review back as well has been shared on the site on RugDoc. So the one that says it's from the same team as Baptism, that's the one that's the right Vamp Finance that we should be talking about.
Yep.
Okay. And was there any concerning points in that review that you want to touch on? Or was it all good? Can you share a link to the RugDoc
Yeah.
for us? The proper one?
I think RugDoc doesn't allow sharing directly to that particular one, but if you go to rugdoc.io and search for Vamp, I think the first result, or if you mouse over on the view website, you will see vamp.baptism.finance and view that detail.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the high risk ones, we reviewed the information there. We don't think that's actually an issue for us, and especially like the most of the Doom folks that I see out in the space is like, yep, they are non-devs. They have really cool UI, very modern. They have roadmaps and all. Then next thing you know, the website's gone. So that's the area, like, we don't want to be in that kind of business. We don't want to misuse our skills to build things and just run. There's no meaning in life doing that kind of thing. Yeah, better just put up your effort, learn from the space, and grow. Yeah.
It says token ownership not renounced. That's not true. There's a few of these things that aren't necessarily up to date since launch. But
well, I want to add, renouncing the contract is unwise. Anybody who is asking that is inexperienced. I recommend you guys do not renounce anything. You guys are trusted, and if you remain trustworthy and transparent, no reason to renounce contracts. All it does is put you in a position where you have to launch a V2 and trouble the user.
Yeah. So I dropped the link. Sorry, guys. I dropped the link on the AMA chat channel.
There we go.
It's got a -2 on the URL for that one.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, and I another thing I'd like to say too is obviously they're looking. Of course, it's from Baptism and stuff like that. They have that on there, but the underlying, KYC and things that we did with TulipDAO for Baptism, applies to that. If the community, we had discussed that if the community really wants to push for an audit, that we would obviously do that.
This is not a scary review, by the way.
It's not. No.
Not even close. They're amazingly upset that you didn't KYC with them and your liquidity is not locked with them.
That's right.
Yeah.
RugDoc just needs to fucking throw in the towel. That's what they need.
Yeah, this is
We're coming for them. Just wait.
Trash. But we are open to, community suggestions if people want, to know answers. And of course, we're always open. And there's certainly I built trust with this team over the last few months, and they are definitely, we're all.
Oh, you guys, these guys are hard docs. I got a line to the Australian embassy. Don't even worry.
Yeah, when you say like the cost of KYC is like for the entire team, like, okay, let's get the entire team KYC then.
Yeah, we had a great call. I got their hard docs, got all their stuff. Everybody can just chill out. I don't know where all this questioning is coming from.
Oh, what is this?
Let's see. An NFT release. People are excited about crossing TeFi and NFT. Is there any info on the NFT collection and its utility?
We will announce something in bit, but not in. Still in the work of building this NFT piece with our creative designer, and we are gonna focus on a minting dApp for that piece of NFT, and we'll give more announcements after doing some testing. So utility wise, we'll share more details on that as well. Like there's some areas that we always want to bring in utility for launching an NFT as part of it.
Can
So
you give
yeah,
us
that's definitely something. There's definitely something like a NFT for to cross over the brand of Fantom, Vamp Finance. They're just like a design from a Web2 designer space that's learning in Web3 as well. Like we want her to learn about building the NFT and get involved in the crypto space through the effort of designing. Yeah, sorry, cut you off a bit.
Oh, no problem. I forgot what I was gonna ask, but that's fine. You covered most of what I was gonna ask anyway. So, there's few concerns for beginners. For Ambo Ghosty, for beginners, it's hard to get in because they don't know how to buy using contracts. Yeah, I would agree. That's been an issue with DeFi, and we will. I'm gonna be facilitating through TulipDAO a relationship, hopefully get them whitelisted so that you can just select from the drop down. A much quicker and easier solution will be getting them whitelisted on Firebird, which is an aggregator for Fantom, in which it finds the best routes for whichever token pair you're trying to trade. So we will get them whitelisted on Firebird this week, probably within the next 48 hours. And that way you will be able to select from a drop down and they'll direct users to use Firebird. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, and miss
Hopefully
those bots too. Those sandwich bots.
Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, right. And Firebird, you dodge the sandwich bots mostly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to duck out of here in just a moment. Boys, do you mind closing up the giveaways and the community questions? There's a few more left.
Yeah, and just a quick one to Ambo's question about an infographic. We published one yesterday on our Vamp docs. So if you hit there, you'll see a new strategies page. We're still kind of working on that, but yeah, it's our first infographic on just kind of 101 level on how to sort of play this fork.
And just to jump in there, like I'm the one designing the infographic and putting it together, and I don't have a hot clue what I'm doing. So that's beneficial for everybody because I'm gonna have to get educated. I've got Bitcoin and Steve's and everybody here is, they're leveling me up, and I'm asking them a bunch of stupid questions so that I can hopefully translate the two fork plays into infographics that allow folks like myself to be able to play this game a little bit better. So for those that are a little bit lost and confused, you have somebody on the inside who also is completely lost and confused. But my job is to communicate that to everybody else. So I have to understand it myself, and I'm a bulldog with understanding concepts. So my goal is to communicate a visual concept to help everybody out. So look for that in the Discord. I might be reaching out with questions and stuff there, but there's definitely somebody on it who also doesn't know what they're doing. So that's a good thing.
And it looks like one of the larger confusions in the community is maybe breaking down a little bit how Vamp is paired to not FTM but BFTM, and how that creates synergy between BSM, Batasm, and Vamp moving forward. And then maybe the question, will there ever be a Zap feature into those pools to make it easier for people who don't understand that more complex concept?
I'll let the devs talk about the Zap function, but in terms of the Batasm to Vamp connection, BFTM, when it's minted and once it goes over its peg, whatever's excess after the one to convert from a Fantom to a BFTM gets used automatically to buy and create LP for the protocol. So protocol own liquidity. So if we have like a huge run or a large influx of people coming into this peg pool, it's got to be ran through Phantasm and the synthetic Fantom token there. And that's going to drive, if the volume's enough, it's going to drive substantial buy pressure. If it's a little bit of volume, it's not going to be much buy pressure. But proportional to however much Fantom is being minted over peg, that will put constant buy pressure as long as that's coming in on BSM.
So that creates that congruency that I think the concern was that there is going to be a leave behind of BSM after the Genesis pools, but that is very evidently not the case. They're very well tied together from the fruition and idealization of the Vamp protocol. And then I'll toss off the STA, the zap function to make something like that easier in the future.
Yep, we're working on the Zap currently.
And that'll make it easier to onboard. And even still, people can learn how the concepts work interchangeably. Cool to see a synthetic token be the pairing of a peg. I think that's going to become more of a standard as people try to grow cross liquidities and functionalities between protocols. So you're very much on the ground floor of people using this idea effectively and showing its use case into the future.
Sure.
And then another concern, we recently did an AMA with another protocol that people realize that after the fact, even with a stronger foundation, you still need to bring in new investors. And I guess some of the concern people want to know, what is your approach afterwards to continue marketing and bring in the new investors?
Sure. And I mean, I think that's where the other peg tokens really gets born out of is there's a lot of projects on Fantom that we all like and everybody in this AMA like. And, we want to bring in new people, new money through, working with established good teams in the space. And, hopefully, we have a base plan for those other pegs and stuff, but where that evolves to, we have no idea. But I know that this entire team is always open to, where the market takes us, where the technology takes us. And yeah, no, I mean, I think you just want to start plugging in as much as we can into these other good, high liquidity, healthy projects around Fantom. And there will be more details in the coming weeks of what we're thinking about doing or what we've reached agreements on. But right now we're kind of keeping it close to our chest.
Yeah, we're trying to be as adaptive as we can, just watching things move in the space. Internally we've had lots of talks and lots of ideas, things that we need to validate, and we've as part of even Vamp, some of you might have heard that we had a closed beta that we ran sometime earlier in June, sort of just to get some early feedback, and we took on board all those feedback. And today, what you see on Vamp Finance right now is really an evolution of ideas coming in. Lots of time spent working together with Surveyor, Teddy, as a bigger group of extended team. And yeah, we're excited in that sense.
Very good. And another just simple question: have you been considering a Vamp-V share LP at any time?
Not in the
Not
short
right
term,
now.
but we will look into that pool.
I mean, it's just usually like an ARB opportunity, and there's all kinds of bad things that come out of that. So we'd have to think about that, game that out, why that would be necessary, if it would be helpful. I mean, yeah. I've never seen it help that much.
And just because I saw this question on the AMA question channel as well, I just want to remind everyone that We do have a BSM FTM LP opening up in the castle as well. But it's not going to be available right away in the next 2 days, but it'll be on paper. We've sort of planned that to start on the 2nd of July. So if you again, same thing, we're envisioning utility just beyond gen pools as well for BSM holders, and we'll try our best, and hopefully this is kind of like something that we'll be able to sort of give back to the community, and let you guys know that, hey, we're really listening to you guys. We want you to come along with this journey with us as well, and hopefully you'll be in for the ride with us.
Perfect. Excellent. If you guys have a little bit more time, we can start inviting anyone up to the stage should they want to have a word or speak in person. If not, we can roll out the last of the giveaways. I'm putting one more time giveaway in the giveaway section, and then I will choose 2 of the best questions from today to give out as well.
Just a reminder, the Gen pool is gonna start in 45 minutes. So yeah, make sure you get in with your tokens and your LPs.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hello.
I want to ask a question. Like, why you choose Fantom as an ecosystem rather than Avalanche? Because retail investors are mostly in Avalanche right now than in Fantom. So it's the TVL in Avalanche. It's more, and there is more degen farms there in Avalanche than Fantom. So the probability to have a more sustainable and successful launch in Avalanche, it's probably more than in Fantom. That's my question. What do you think?
Sure. I mean, I played Tomb Forks on AVAX, and they ended exactly the same way that other bad Tomb Forks ended on Phantom. I totally understand what you mean when it comes to the liquidity, and the TVL on Phantom is something I wish would, money would start flowing back to Phantom. I'm obviously plugged into the community best here. From my perspective, any project that I'm working on will most likely be Fantom based. But pre me, I'm not sure what their initial. I'd like to hear what the rest of the team had to say about that too.
Yeah. So initially, I think obviously going multi-chain, cross-chain would have been one of the ideas that had obviously popped up way early on. And it's easy, right? It's one formula which anyone comes up with, and you kind of think of like, yeah, okay, we'll just keep stamping out forks, and we'll go cross chain. But we sort of realized early on that it's not necessarily the right thing to do just because you can do something like that fairly easily. And so what we want is sort of to grow our home base in that sense, where we started from. Fantom, and Cody alluded to this earlier as well. We got introduced to Fantom early on. He actually introduced me to Fantom, so for me it's the OG chain for me. And obviously great things happening with recent network upgrades. You can't complain about gas prices these days. If I've been on AVAX for a bit, just exploring different protocols and dApps, and the one thing that is really painful, I feel, with Avalanche, obviously way before this bear market, was just price of gas. It's insane, and you think about if we had to build auto compounders even in that space, it's really something that we would have to be very careful of. In terms of just protocol health and sustainability, it's a pretty tricky one in that sense. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, I wanted to add something real quick, and I have another question, then I finish. So first, now the Avalanche gas fee, it's less than a penny, like literally. So it's not expensive at all. I have another question. It's there is a O2 compounder which is called Magic Cat or something like this. Yeah, Magic Finance Cat. So a lot of Tom Forks use it, because they have like something called a burn vault. So the fees, they take 4.5% fees, and with those fees they burn the tokens, the supply of tokens. So it helps with sustain the protocol. You probably can have like basically Grape Finance. It's all the Tom Fork. They have like partner with it, and lot of other Tom Forks. It might help, just to add. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
appreciate
Victor.
that. Yep, appreciate that suggestion. I work pretty closely with Almost Owen from the early days as well. We're good friends. And yeah, we're very aware of the Magic Farm vaults that they have. I did want to call out as well that our native auto compounder actually helps to burn BSM. So it's very in tune to our ecosystem. And guys, Cody and Ori have done a fantastic job with just coming up with a couple of vaults at this point, but we've got more in the works, and we are definitely going to have Vamp related vault. But as Aura was saying earlier, we're just kind of waiting for the right time to just turn them on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions.
Thank you for your answers.
Hmm.
Thank you.
All right. I think that was the last of community questions there. And giveaway is just ending as well. And it's like Simic won a Pop Scully. Any last closing questions or things that the team would like to add?
Nope. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll look to the rest of the guys as well. If you guys got anything else you want to add on?
All good for me.
I'm all set.
Well, thank you so much for everyone's time. I thoroughly enjoyed this AMA. I'm going to be picking out a couple of the questions from the Discord for the rest of the giveaways, and then I will have you send me your address to deliver. But this was our 24th AMA, Investors AMA with Vamp Finance. We look forward to the start of the Gen pools in just a short amount of time here, and then we have the LP pools going live in then another 48 hours after that. So look forward to playing with everybody there. And if anybody wants to come down to the TulipDAO VC afterwards, where we will be discussing and moving through, you can always pop in the general chat, ask for a one-day pass, and we will help facilitate that.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. Great chat. Thank you guys. Take care. All right. Good luck. Let's go.
Let's go.